It is late May here in Michigan and the Baptisia are in full bloom. This is one of the best early season perennials. If you want something that's going to be up early in spring, give you a lot of size, give you a lot of impact early, Baptisia, one of the best that you can go with. This is a North American native perennial. There are multiple different species that you can find growing from as far south as the Florida Panhandle, all the way up into Canada. As far as zones go, incredibly hardy. Zones 4 to 9, 3 to 9 potentially with the right background species. You'll find these varieties on the market typically as complex hybrids of multiple species. That's how we get so many different colors. Color range for this, flowers go from yellow, creamy white to more of that traditional false indigo, indigo blue, purples. Then again, you have some burgundies, browns, oranges mixed into that color wheel as well. So as far as colors go, a lot of options. You also get bicolors where you can get yellows and pinks appearing on the same plant or other color mixtures. So you can typically find these growing as prairie plants. It's kind of their native environment, although they have adapted to a lot of other areas as well. But historically they're used to either tolerating those heavy clay prairie soils or even sandier soils. They have a very deep root structure that matches what you see above. These go down multiple feet into the ground, very thick tuberous roots, great for breaking up heavy clay soils or storing water from well-drained soils. So you're going to get a lot of heat, drought tolerance, regardless of whether these are in a heavier condition or a lighter condition. They do well in rain gardens with that intermittent watering. So you're going to get really solid performance regardless of the season out of this genus. Let's look at some notable varieties from Baptisia. The one I'm next to, where we started, this is Baptisia Lemon Meringue. It's in the Decadence collection from Proven Winners. It's been on the market for a number of years now. Just a very, very solid, consistent, absolutely gorgeous variety. Darker charcoal stems with these lemon yellow flowers, blooms for a long time, really good branching. Flowers come up out of the foliage, above the foliage. Some of the older, more traditional varieties, some of the species, they actually bloom within the foliage and you don't get as much of that floral impact, floral wow factor. But lemon meringue flowers up out of the foliage, really beautiful vase-shaped habit, holds everything up. Excellent for underplanting with some of those other varieties, some other early blooming plants. Then we have Baptisia Sparkling Sapphires. This is also in the Decadence collection. And again, another one of the hallmarks that we can really see here are the flowers out of the foliage, but also that size of Baptisia australis rained down into a more compact garden-friendly plant. So when we think about why do we do interspecific breeding, what's some of the values, when you bring two species together, multiple species together, you're usually going for the best traits out of both of them. So Baptisia australis is a big plant. We're looking at 5 feet tall and wide, doesn't have that stability after flowering typically to hold together, so you might see it opening up, particularly if it's overfed or overwatered in the summer. So we've combined that with a species like Baptisia minor, which is a much more compact variety, a little bit smaller, stouter, sturdier stems. And then we get something in between, something that's in that kind of 3 to 4 foot ball range. Not going to open up after flowering, going to stay nice and tidy. And then we have longer flowering inflorescences than what you would typically get on minor, thanks to that australis background. But we've also selected against having varieties that are just long, so you have really short spacing along each individual flower stem, shortening of that inner node so that the stems themselves are very stocky and much more packed and less sparse than what you would get on just the straight species. So that is Baptisia Sparkling Sapphires. So the next one, it's a little bit tricky to see the color on this one because it's just coming into bloom, and under the full sun you don't quite get that impact. But this is Baptisia Decadence Deluxe Pink Truffles. Deluxe because it's got a little bit more than those typical Decadence varieties. Decadence, where you came down to that 3.5 size was our target. Decadence Deluxe, we're trying to put a little bit of that height back into the plant, not so much the width or the size, but we're looking for that height. So you notice Pink Truffles is a little bit leggier than some of the other varieties, a little bit more up, just coming into bloom now. So you can see the length of the flowers and then the blooms just starting along. Pink Truffles, first pink variety to be on the market. It was a color break at the time. Now there's a few more in that kind of pink realm, but Pink Truffle still holds up, I think, as one of the best pink Baptisia that you can get. So next up we have Baptisia Cherries Jubilee, also in the Decadence series. You can see really nice mid-sized variety. Color transition on this, we're starting with really dark burgundy buds that open and lighten into this kind of honey yellow color, a little bit of some dusky orange tones in there, with nice yellow keels to the flower. So really nice color combo. Poking out of it, we have Grape Escape, which is one of our most true purple varieties, kind of a grape purple. Don't normally see that color within the species side of things either. So one of those new colors that we were able to find through interspecific breeding. But going back to Cherries Jubilee, where you have really nice size, then we have a newer variety to the market, Honey Roasted, where we've even brought that size down even more. This is one of our most compact varieties in peak bloom right now. You can see those long flower stems coming all the way out of the foliage. So more compact than Cherries Jubilee, not as much color transition on the flower stems of this one as well, but absolutely packed with blooms. Here we have another one of our yellow varieties, really excellent one. This is American Goldfinch, nodding to that North American native history, and also its benefits to songbirds as well. So after this plant finishes blooming, you do get these really cool legume type seed pods that form and will hold interest in late summer, early fall. So how does American Goldfinch compare to our other yellow varieties, such as Lemon Meringue? Color is a little bit deeper, more of a true golden yellow color. Habit as well, a little bit lower, wider, closer to the ground, whereas Lemon Meringue is a little bit more up off the ground. Where can you put these perennials? What's the ideal location? Well, whether you have a home garden or if you have a commercial landscape, this perennial Baptisia, they thrive pretty much wherever you have full sun. Full sun helps keep them compact, helps keep them from stretching. Too much shade, the stems stretch, they get weak, you're more prone to have them opening up. But as far as soil goes, whether you are in an incredibly hot, dry place, or if you've got more of a rain garden situation, if you've got heavy compacted clay, well-drained soils, this is a plant that tolerates all of it. The reason they can do that is because the root system matches what you have above. So basically as much growth as you have below, you have these deep, long, tuberous roots that are going to both store water for when they need it, but also break through some of those heavier soils or reach down really far in the well-drained ones to get to that water reservoir down below. So here we have this particular variety. It is 7 or 8 years old now. This is Baptisia Lemon Meringue right here, and it has been in this location tolerating what is a pretty tough situation. The entrance to our business is right here, so it's heavily salted in winter as we try to keep the ice down, and you get a lot of that runoff into the bed, but it's not really affected this plant. So pretty much whatever situation, whatever tough hot spot you want to throw at it, Baptisia going to be one that's going to weather the storm or lack of a storm.